Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam. We are live and we are previewing Manchester United against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup semi-final, first leg at Old Trafford. Big game, midweek, under the floodlights at Old Trafford. Nothing quite like it, and of course a derby as well against the noisy neighbours at Old Trafford. It promises to be exciting, especially when you consider United did fairly well when we played Manchester City last time out. That's not to say it's going to be easy this time or it's going to be the same result. We obviously know Manchester City are a very, very good side. Despite their troubles in the league this season, they're still, way clear of us in the league. So they're obviously a very good team, and Pep Guardiola has said they have a full squad going into this game. So they're a threat. They're probably going to make a few changes. United may make a few changes too, but it's going to be a big game at Old Trafford, and it's important for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you think, because if he was to win a trophy and beat someone like Manchester City along the way, and obviously we've beaten Chelsea along the way, and you're beating some big names, you're getting some big teams under your belt, and you're winning a trophy, it'd be a great start for him in the season, especially considering the way United have been up and down, inconsistent. He's got some things wrong tactically, in game management. He's got some things right as well throughout the season. But to get a trophy would show that there's something at the end of it, and it would give a massive confidence booster, not only to obviously the players, but the manager as well. The coaching staff, that have something that would be an example of all things that are good for Manchester United, and obviously an example of the work paying off. What's wrong with this shirt spinning around all the time? I don't get it. Absolute madness here with the backdrop, but I hope you guys are all doing well, and I hope you guys are, of course, looking forward to the game, because look, no matter where we lie in the league, it's always a difficult game. We know that. It's always a difficult game, no matter where we lie in the league. But it's always a difficult game for City as well. I remember times when City were poor. Sean Goal scoring winners and that. So the form really does go out the window in these games. And we saw that the last time Manchester United were 9-1 favourites. Sorry, not 9-1 outsiders to win that game against Manchester City. And we won. And we won comfortably too. It could have been 2-3, 4-0 by half time. It could have been 2-3, 4-0. Obviously, when it ends 2-1, they get that late goal, and you're looking at them, attacking towards the last 5 minutes and possibly snatching an equaliser. The game didn't really pan out like that, especially in the first half. I thought Manchester United were magnificent in that first half, and we'll be looking to get the same kind of performance. Maybe looking to give them the ball a little bit, allow them the possession so Manchester United can try and hit them on the break. Guys, let us know your thoughts on this game as well. With the game coming up very, very quickly, we've got this game tomorrow night. I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, the league hasn't been great for United. The cups are going to be important for us. We've got the Europa League, this competition, and hopefully with that replay against Wolves, we can stay in the FA Cup, because winning something this season would be ideal, wouldn't it? It would be ideal. I mean, that goes without saying, so pretty stupid. Look lethal in the first half, said Cade Brennan. Back to the usual background. Yes, I'm back at home now from Germany. Remember when McTominay wasn't even Manchester United quality? Now he's a key player, says the Saint. I've always said that he should be third or fourth choice central midfielder for Manchester United, and I've never meant that in a disrespectful way, but it shows where our midfield is at the moment, that he's looked at as being so important. In years gone by, McTominay would be nothing more than a squad player, and there's nothing wrong with that. Someone that can play 30 odd games a season, coming in, starting games here and there, allowing your main two midfielders to get a rest, or your main three midfielders. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's where I think he should be, because obviously he has his qualities. He's a great engine. He gets around the park a lot. He breaks play up. But at times as well, his distribution is very poor. And you'd like to think United can get a bit more quality in there. If Fred and McTominay were your third and fourth choice, you'd be buzzing with that, wouldn't you? So that's what kind of position we need to get to with the team. I think it will be a draw or a loss, says Ilya, who's back again in the comments. Another one who's back again is Tian, who says, do you think we'll go for a central midfielder or two in the January window? only real position we need to strengthen. Really, we do need to get depth in a fair few positions. I still think central defence is an issue, but there's more pressing matters, and those are obviously central midfield and in the attacking positions as well. We need depth there. We really do. Will we sign anyone this month? I'm not too sure, but to be totally honest with you, I'm not holding my breath on that one. I'm never really confident going into windows of United, and definitely not the January transfer window. So I don't think we'll sign anyone, but obviously it wouldn't surprise me if we made a bid or two just to pretend we were being active. And you never know what can happen. That might surprise us all, but I don't think we will. Junaid says, I hope we win 2-0 or 1-0. Come on, United. Thoughts on Jesse leaving, says the same. There was rumours that his agent is Mino Raiola now. Look, I don't know whether he'll leave or not. I don't think he will. The only rumour I've heard is that his agent's Mino Raiola. He signed a long-term deal at United, and he's always said he wants to stay at United. Obviously, United needs to strengthen in that position. If we do, he's not going to be getting as many minutes as he is now. So that may be a concern for him. So you never know. But I don't think he'll leave Manchester United. Really pissed off on our recruitment process, says Marius. Mubarak says, with the midfielders we've got right now, we can't win a match. Who have we got right now? Matic, Fred, Pereira. Yeah, it's pretty poor in the middle. Will we see someone like James Garner or Dylan Levitt get an opportunity? Ericsson definitely won't come to United, says another comment as well. I'm not really seeing Ericsson happening for Manchester United. It look like he'll go elsewhere, possibly on a free as well, which will mean him and his agent will get a fat signing on fee. I think that's probably what he's holding out for at this moment in time. Ali needs Emre Can, Bruno Fernandes or Ruben Neves and Grealish, says Colfius. Whilst I'm not confident that anything will come of it, it was great to see Manchester United's name linked with Ruben Neves this week. I can't remember which outlet it was that linked them with it, but I don't see that happening anyway. Wolves, they're an interesting project, aren't they? Because they've obviously got high influence with the likes of Jorge Mendes and I think Gestifute and the agency there, and a lot of their signings will come through there. So are those signings then going to be pushing for a move from that project when it's not yet finished? I'm not too sure. Obviously, Manchester United will be a pull for anyone, but we've been linked with like Raul Jimenez as well. I don't think these are going to happen, especially mid-season. Why are Wolves going to sell Ruben Neves mid-season? I think their midfield is built around João Moutinho, but Ruben Neves is as important. Yes, Kaz, thank you very much, mate. I think Maguire criticism is not justified. He needs a midfield. Look, I think some of his performances have deserved criticism, but I do think our our defence isn't helped by a poor midfield as well. So I do see where you're coming from, but there's times where his performances have deserved criticism. Why is it that he doesn't deserve criticism? £80 million, player that's experienced in the league. He does deserve some criticism and has to take some personal responsibility for his own performances. That is for sure. This squad is worst squad in ages. Even our best 11 is not that good, Ryan. That's why, like, it baffles me when there's a meltdown over every single draw or defeat. Like, look, I understand analysing the 90 minutes and complaining about subs or tactics or what Ali's doing during a game, but in terms of complaining about, you know, every single time there's an overreaction, what did you expect from this squad? The fact that we're just outside the top 4, I think, is much to be expected. We're still in all the competitions. Now, that doesn't excuse some of the performances that we've seen. Watford, the draws with Villa, Everton, Sheffield United from a winning position. Like, it doesn't excuse some of those performances, and I can see why there's criticism for some of those performances, but the overreaction to everything when it was quite clear we were never really going to challenge for top trophies this season is a bit of a baffling one to me. Save the energy, relax a little bit. Lindelof has been worse than Maguire, says Shoot. I agree with that. I agree with that completely. The price tag isn't his fault at all. That's true. No one made that excuse for Pogba though. Never would be mint in this team. He would be someone to tie that team together, wouldn't he? Will Maddison sign for United? That's the theatre of dreams. He's a player that I want at United, James Maddison. I think he's a great talent. Fits the profile of player that we seem to be signing as well. And I don't just mean English. I mean in terms of He's obviously a Manchester United fan. I think that's been well documented. He looks like someone that wants to play for Man United eventually. That seems to be a dream of his. We can make that happen. He's a quality player as well, so it's not just someone that wants to play for the club. So I think it'd be an ideal signing. We need someone to link the midfield eventually. Hopefully we'll build one, and the attack together, and James Maddison could be the ideal player to do that. Jeremy says, for me, Saul and Bruno Fernandes are the signings we have to make. Sancho or Grealish as trigger, why not both? Pogba definitely gets crazy criticism. What did I miss, says Pranav? Nothing much. We've just been answering some of your questions, and of course previewing Manchester United against Manchester City in the League Cup. Manchester United obviously at Old Trafford in the first leg, so it's important that we do get a result to take to the Etihad. We know we've been there and we've won before, and a draw isn't the worst result in the world, but we need to try and go and get a win. We can go into the game against Manchester City at the Etihad with a goal or two lead, then they have to come out at us a little bit more than they would usually. I even think if they got a win, they would come out at us anyway. But if they're chasing a deficit in the home game, they're more likely to come out. They're more likely to leave space for us at the back, and we're more likely to have a little bit of luck like we were in the game in the league. So it's still important that we get a result here, whether that's a draw or a victory going into the second leg. Losing would be a little bit catastrophic. Is that even a word? It would be a bit of a catastrophe, because then we've got to chase the game, and we know what happens when Man United chase the game. It's not the best for us, and if they decide to give us possession, it's not going to be a great position to be in. Your best formation against City, says Trigger now. There's only one of two formations we can play, because of the simple fact we haven't got a midfield available to us. We know it's going to be Fred and Matic, unless he surprises us and he plays like, you know, James Garner. I can't see that happening. It's going to be Matic. It's going to be Fred. Then the question is, do we play three at the back in terms of three centre backs, or do we play four, two full backs and two centre halves? That's the only question then. Do we go for three in terms of, you know, maybe Tuanzebe, Lindelof and Maguire, or do we offer for a little bit more attacking, in terms of more attacking players on the pitch, and play with a 4-2-3-1 formation? Sorry, let me just get my words out there. So that's the only question, I think. I don't think there's a possibility for us to go three in midfield, because we haven't got enough midfielders, unless we play Andreas Pereira in there. But I think Andreas Pereira may be the one that starts in behind the strikers, if that's not Jesse Lingard, because Jesse Lingard did have a decent performance in the game when we won at Etihad. So listen to what I'm saying before you all go absolutely nuts. I know I use a lot of like taking things out of context, but Jesse Lingard started that game against Man City at the Etihad. The team that we had that day was David De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw. I think Shaw actually had a decent game that day. He hasn't been great this season, and I think I'd prefer to see Brandon Williams starting, but Shaw wasn't bad that day, if I remember correctly. Then we have McTominay and Fred. We obviously haven't got the option to go with McTominay this time around, so it's likely to be Matic and Fred, James, Lingard, Rashford and Martial. Will Mason Greenwood get a start? Who knows? Maguire is injured according to House, and says Ryan. That happens and you're looking at Lindelof and Tuanzebe in it, possibly. That may be the thing. How come Howson went to Stretford Paddock? He hasn't gone to Stretford Paddock. Stretford Paddock is obviously a channel that he's part of, but he's also still part of Full Time Devils, and me and Steve will be making videos together as well, so there's no dramas there. People love to create dramas and all this stuff, but just relax. De Gea has turned into a stinker, so the deal. Does Jones need a run out? Don't loll at me. Wow. Kenneth says, Adam, greetings from Chicago. Been watching your channel for a few years now. Keep up the great work. Wish you the best. Cheers, Kenneth. I do appreciate that, and I appreciate all your comments on the channel. Keep them coming in as we look ahead to Manchester United versus Manchester City. I haven't created a graphic for my team today. I totally forgot to do that, so I will do that now. Not create a graphic, but I'll give you my team. I'd go with David De Gea in goal. A lot of talk about whether Romero should start. for me, you go with your first choice. I know Romero's played in the League Cup and he's been in form and he's kept a lot of clean sheets. He made a great save against Wolves to keep it 0-0. But for me, David De Gea, don't shoot me down. Then I'm going to go with Brandon Williams. If Maguire's injured, then not Maguire and go with Lindelof, Twanzebe, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Great performance at the Etihad from him. Matic, Fred. So that is David De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Twanzebe, Lindelof, Brandon Williams, Matic and Fred, Mason Greenwood, Lingard, Rashford and Marshall. That's me. That's the team I'm going with. I'm going with Mason Greenwood in for Daniel James. The thing with Daniel James is he puts a lot into his game. Now his form has dipped off recently in terms of output, but he's still putting in a very good performance level in terms of commitment, running, ground, etc. So he's always going to need to be pulled out a little bit. Mason Greenwood didn't have the best of games against Wolves. I don't think he'll start this game necessarily. That was probably my preferred 11. We haven't got many options in midfield for Matic and Fred. And then, yeah, I just think Mason Greenwood for Danny James. Let him play with Anthony Martial, with Marcus Rashford from the start, and let's see what kind of performance we get from him then. Yes, we can always put him into a below par team or a below strength team, but let him play with the first team as well, to be able to create some sort of chemistry with them. That's not to say I don't want Danny James to be able to do that too, but he's had a lot of games with Martial and with Marcus Rashford. And like Saint says, he's looking tired at the moment as well. Although Mo Wada comes from the different opinion and says versus City he would start Daniel James. Biggie Small says Sir Phil at striker, and they take to come off the bench and score the winner 40-yard top volley top bin, sorry, says Jacking off. And I do know what that says when you say it quickly, so I still don't mind saying it. Pink boots in the midfield. Marshall and Lingard don't think are ready for tomorrow. If not, who do you think are going to start, says Jeremy. Well, they're ill, so come on, don't care if you're ill, you can play, sweat it out, is what I would say. But if Lingard don't start, we'll probably see Andreas Pereira play there. And if Martial don't start, then you'll probably see Danny James and Mason Greenwood through the middle. So that's the other alternative. If we're out Martial and without Maguire, it's pretty abysmal. Now I think Maguire was returned to form a little bit against Wolves, although there was one moment where he got a little bit twisted. But for me, he's a big miss still. It's still a big miss, and what shows you the level of our midfield and the quality of our midfield, which is really frustrating, is he's often one that will come stepping out with the ball and trying to find those front three or front four, which is really frustrating. Why are we relying on Maguire to do that? Yes, it's good to see your defenders do that, but you need your midfield to be doing that as well, and we haven't had that enough at all. If Martial is out, we might as well forfeit, says Mo Wada, who's full of confidence. Rooney-esque overhead kick winner coming from Sir Phil. Are you just covering all the bets with Phil Jones scoring some sort of kind of goal? Yeah, dream goal. I like it. Danny James plays better at left wing than he does in Wales. He has scored. Oh, I missed that comment because it moved. 1-0 win for us. Scrappy goal from a corner. Finally, says Anshesh. Will Maguire finally score from a header at a corner? He's missed so many chances this season to do it and make it happen. But will he finally do it in one of the biggest games of all, the Manchester Derby? Let's hope so. If he's fit and he starts, we can take, Man City got a difficult team. Will they start Aguero or Jesus? Gabriel Jesus rather? Will Phil Foden start? A rare game for them. Will we see Raheem Sterling given a rest, or will he start? Obviously, after the December fixture list that we've had, and the amount of games that we've had, and with City obviously still, they won't within their camp think it's over in terms of the league, although it's over. But they won't be thinking that, so they'll be still, keeping one eye on that, keeping one eye on the Champions League, doing all that. So they could possibly rest players, so it'd be interesting to see what kind of team they play as well. But I do think one or two of their main men will be out there, whether it's Raheem Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne, with Phil Foden in the mix as well. I think we'll see some sort of mixture in there. What's all this wave business? What's going on there, guys? Come on. What's my score prediction for tomorrow? I'm feeling confident today, but I might wake up tomorrow feeling like it's not going to happen and we're not going to win. These games are always difficult to predict. I'm not too sure. Get your predictions in. I'm going to go 2-1 United again. That's what I'm going to go for. United will be United and will be inconsistent. Then we'll probably go and lose or draw against Norwich at the weekend. Why have we been so poor at defending set pieces? Says Mia Afzal. There doesn't seem to be any cohesion in that defence at the moment, which is frustrating. We have been chopping and changing it a lot. I'd like to see us get some consistency in there and, you know, settle down and get a settled back four. But get your score predictions in, guys. Get your score predictions in right about now. I am going for a 2-1 win for Manchester United with Rashford and Martial scoring again. Is it going to be deja vu? Let's hope so. It will be deja vu at Old Trafford. And remember, I'll be live as soon as we finish fan cams as well on the forecourt of Old Trafford. So make sure you're keeping it locked on AdamMcKola TV for that by hitting that big fat red subscribe button. Now we've got some score predictions coming in. 1-0 United, says Harris. 2-2 with Maguire and Marshall scoring, says Carey. 3-1 City, says Ryan. Unfortunately though, he does add. Adam Wilmot says 1-0 United. Trigger says 2-1 United. I'm the opposite, not confident now, but as the clock ticks down, I believe more. 1-0 Maguire with his first, says Kenneth. Any more questions? Sorry, not questions, predictions. Keep those coming in right about now. Here United are 4-1 at home, plus a goal. 6-5 must be worth a few quid. Yeah, because if we draw, that would come through, wouldn't it? 2-1 and 2-2 away, says Bernie, thinking we're going to go through. 5-1 says the deal. What has he been smoking tonight? 4-1 says Mubaris. 2-1 says Mames. 2-1 says Mo, although I'm not sure who predicted that to. Jack and off says 2-1 Rashford brace. 2-0 Glenn, says Ernix, says 1-1 and United 3-0. 8-0 De Bruyne, 7 own goals from Phil Jones, says Sam. So the comments. Anyway, guys, make sure you're keeping it locked to AdamMcKola TV. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. And for now, I'm going to get out of here, but hopefully I'll be reporting for you guys on a Manchester United win tomorrow in the Manchester derby, going into the second leg at the Etihad. Anyway, for now, keep it locked. I'm out of here.